Okay, so we're going to make the design view here. We're going to make a program that is basically going to be changing background colors on a timer. And if we click the button go, this button is going to start changing colors. And same thing if we click the button stop here, it's going to be cycling through a few different colors. So you got your two buttons. We're going to go to our toolbox. And we are going to find a timer. So if you start typing in TIM, you'll see timer down here. You can double click it 3 times, and once you do that 3 times, you'll notice that the timer component will be right down here, so you should have 3 of them, and I already have mine added. We're going to call the first one TMR Go. I was going to open the properties here for a second. So for TMR Go, we're going to want an interval of 1,000 seconds, and make sure that enabled is false. For TMR Stop, again, we're going to have an interval of 1,000 milliseconds, not seconds. So this is going to be in milliseconds. 1,000 milliseconds is 1 second. And for TMR Form, this one we're going to have enabled. So it's the only one that's going to be enabled off the hop. And the interval is going to be 2 seconds or 2,000 milliseconds. Okay, we're going to do our code now. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go down to this drop-down menu and find TMR Form, and then go down to the Events menu, and you'll find your tick event, so you can click it, and it's going to insert this private sub here. So the tick event is going to run every interval seconds if the timer is enabled. So in this case, this timer has a 2-second interval. So every 2 seconds, it's going to run this code. And my mission here is I'd like to switch the form background color between 4 different colors. Okay, so we're going to need a static counter so that the VB remembers the value of form counter as the program runs. So we'll start it off at 0. And we're going to use this if statement to determine what color we should use for the form. So if the form counter is 0, then I chose to have a purple background color. And then we want to make sure that we set our form counter to 1 so that the next time this tick event runs 2 seconds later, form counter is going to be equal to 1. And when it's equal to 1, it's going to change to a medium aquamarine color. And then we set the form counter to 2 so that the next time it runs, it's going to hit this else if. And form counter will be 2, and then we'll have a blue-violet color, and we'll set the form counter to 3. Okay, so when it's 3, it's going to skip the if statement for 0, 1, 2. It's going to hit the else, and it'll go to our last color. And because we want this to continue cycling through as the tick event runs, we need to set our form counter back to 0 so that the next time that this tick event runs, it's going to start at the beginning again, and that cycle will repeat over and over again. Alright, so we are done with TMR form tick. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to program our go button. So if you double click on it, you'll get a click event for BTN Go, which I got right here. So all we need that click event to do is to enable our TMR Go. So we'll set that property to true. And then you can go and you can find your TMR Go and insert the tick event for that, which will be right here. Okay, so this tick event, we're going to cycle between 2 different colors. So we're going to make a static go counter variable starting at 0. And then our if statement is just going to say, all right, if the go counter is 0, we'll change the BTN Go back color to this chartreuse color. We'll set the go counter to 1 so that the next time this thing runs, we're going to hit the else, and we'll set the background color to something different. I chose red. Then we'll set the go counter back to 0, and that way our if statement will loop around the next time this tick event runs, and we will now have our button programmed. The last one we're going to do is the stop button. So again, we'll insert a click event by double clicking on the form. And all we want is for TMR stop .enable to become true. And then we'll go insert TMR stop, the tick event, which will be right here. And again, we're just going to cycle between 2 different colors. So this time my static stop counter starts at 0. So at 0, we got, I'm also changing the text, the 4 color here. So the back color is going to go black. The 4 color is going to go white, just getting a little fancier. And then we'll set our stop counter to 1. So that the next time that we run, it's going to hit the else. And here I'm just got back color becoming yellow and stop counter going back to 0. I didn't do the 4 color, so I'm going to just be consistent and also change the 4 color to something different. What's going to go good with yellow? Maybe a nice something like pink. It's going to be very bright and busy. All right, so once you have all that, you can compile your code. And here we go. So you'll notice that the form starts changing colors after 2 seconds. If you click the button go, after 1 second, that's going to start changing color. And if you click the button stop, it's going to start changing the color and the forecolor of just that button. And there you have it. That is how you use timers. See you next time.